Up on Sunday. I got my crew ready to go here, and let's kick it off with the NFL's opening game last night. We got the Giants, we got the Patriots, we got the spotlight on the two quarterbacks. Tom Brady on one side, and of course, the legend growing that is Danny Dimes. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. How good have the Patriots special teams been?
Patriots have been fantastic. Bill Belichick emphasizes the heck out of it. Chase Winovich feels that like a punt returner, takes it in for the score.
This one actually winds up going off the back of the punt protector. That's Nate Stupar. Brady says, all right, guys, let's get it going here. We're up 7-0. Under 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Giants. They're down 7-0. They're playing this game without so many of their offensive weapons, and maybe that's part of the reason Jones holds the ball so long.
He holds it. You have to throw that away. He's a young quarterback. He'll learn it, takes it on the arm, and throws the interception, his first of a few.
It's Danny Shelton who would hit him there as he releases. Jones, that would be his second pick of the night. Patriots would punch it in off a turnover. It's 14-0. Now, next Giant possession. Oh, they've got Golden Tate back, and he's getting behind the defense.
Great ball right there by Daniel Jones, and Golden Tate, huge offseason pickup, especially with all the injuries. Paying off right there.
That's the first passing touchdown the Patriots have allowed all year, so it's 14-7. And hold on, there's more. Next Patriot drive. Jonathan Vilma, what do we see here? Tom Brady's going to get hit.
Yeah, first time I've seen Tom Brady hold on to the ball too long, and then perfect for the Giants defense. Opportunistic pick up and score right there. Part of some problems that the Patriots offense has been showing lately.
That's a great fight to get in the end zone by Marcus Golden, and Bill Belichick can't believe it. We're tied at 14. And more things went wrong on that play. Adding injury to insult. Watch the left knee of Josh Gordon that bends the wrong way. He would not return. We're still waiting for an update on his status. But how would Brady respond? Well, as usual, pretty well. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Jacoby Myers. Who's that? He makes the catch. Patriots are on the move. He keeps throwing to guys you never even heard of at this point. So many of his weapons are gone. Later in the drive, 36 seconds to go. Brady takes it in himself. 21-14 Patriots at the half. We pick it up in the fourth quarter. Still 21-14. Still very much a game. Giants on a 3rd and 9, and this is where it starts to get away.
Yeah, it gets really bad for the Giants right here. We start turning the ball over, especially against a Patriots defense. You know they're going to capitalize. You continue to turn the ball over and throw interceptions.
Yeah, Kyle Van Noy takes it in. It's reviewed and ruled a touchdown. The Patriots defense has scored more touchdowns this year than the Jets and Dolphins combined. After a Giants 3-and-out, where, by the way, they punted on a 4th and 2, down 14 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Finally, Edelman gets behind the defense. That sets up another Brady dime for a touchdown. Brady would finish 31 of 41, 334 yards, ran for 2 scores, didn't throw one. And in the end, the Patriots win 35-14.
Happy we won. Happy to get to 6-0. So, yeah, we just grinded it out pretty good.
What's your assessment of where you guys are as an offense right now? Do you think it's been good enough?
We'll see. We're 6-0, so try to get to 7-0.
This game was Tom Brady's first win at home without a passing touchdown since week 1 of the 2008 season against the Chiefs. That was the game that he hurt the ACL at the very beginning, so he barely even played in that game. He's now thrown for 0 touchdowns in 2 of his last 3 games. So as we take this to the table, Mark Sanchez, as a quarterback, that 5-second pause that he gave there when asked that question, how do you evaluate the offense? What do you think he was thinking about?
Good enough for what? Number one, is it good enough for what? To keep winning? And they showed they can win. They score a special teams touchdown. They score a defensive touchdown. Listen, was the offense at its very best? No. Their line's been a little suspect. Their center's out, right?
Yep.
Josh Gordon goes down. So he's not working with all of his – they're not firing on all cylinders, but this is why they're so polarizing. This is why you hate him or love him, because they know how to win. They know how to win ugly. And if he's got to rush for 2 touchdowns, I'll tell you what, he doesn't care. He's going to win the game. That's who he is.
He still threw for well over 300 yards, as we pointed out. But as you watch them play right now, as a linebacker, and I love looking at your face because you're so ready for me here.
I'm ready.
Do you fear their offense now the way you probably did when you played against them at their best?
Not at all. I feared their offense, to your point, when they had Aaron Hernandez, they had Rob Gronkowski, they had on the outside Randy Moss. I feared them because those tight ends were so special and dynamic. It was hard. It was always a mismatch, whether it was us as linebackers guarding them or safeties. They create those mismatches, and right now the Patriots don't have that tight end to go to. They don't have a Rob Gronkowski. They had even Ben Watson back in 04 when he got drafted.
Yeah.
Right now, it's Edelman.
He's available.
And that's it, right? That's another subject.
But Watson could potentially be someone who comes back. We're going to talk about Gronk in a second. But, Bob, I'm trying to figure out how to read this. Again, they're 6-0, and they've played the teams that were on their schedule. But they've played terrible teams, with the exception of Buffalo, and Buffalo doesn't have a whole lot of offense. So as the schedule gets tougher, and it's going too soon, do you think they will struggle?
I think they're going to be fine. They're not going to be pretty, but if you go back and look at their first 3 Super Bowls, they didn't have an offense that was ranked in the top 5. They didn't have a defense that was ranked in the top 5. They played great complementary football, and you saw that again last night. Defensive scores, they're number 1 in the league in field position. They give Tom short fields. And if you look at the first half to the second half, in the first half, a lot of 2 back, a lot of 2 tight end, have some injuries, some things happen. They change it up. They go more 3 wide receivers, and then they start getting the screen game involved. If they can't protect, they're going to get the ball to Tom Brady's hands quickly because they know they can't let him sit back there and get hit. He's not a Pat Mahomes or a Russell Wilson or even Aaron Rodgers. He's not a guy that's going to run, so they get the ball out of his hands and help him out, and that's the beauty of Josh McDaniels and what he does with his play calling.
And when I think about the AFC, who is really their competition right now? Who are we worried about? If we're talking Kansas City, their defense stinks. If we're talking, I don't know, who else is out there on the AFC that's really going to challenge the Patriots right now? If there's no one to challenge them, look at the schedule right now. The Ravens can give them a challenge, but we're saying, all right, they're not good enough to win. Against who? Of course they are. Even with that offense right now, they're good enough to win against any of these opponents.
Where you see some of the tougher games on that. We don't know what the Browns are going to be. At Ravens feels tough. At Eagles, Cowboys are good. Houston is good. Kansas City is good. So their schedule is going to get more challenging than it's been to this point. And if they're just trying to cobble together whatever they can by throwing screens, by getting rid of the ball, by trying to win it with defense, Mark, can they do that? Can they win the AFC Championship again? They've won it 3 straight years doing this stuff.
If Kansas City's not healthy, yes. When Kansas City gets healthy, that's going to be a real game because they're going to need some offense.
I don't know, Mark. Well, even with the Kansas City's defense is not clicking. We talk about Pat's offense not clicking, Patriots defense, Chiefs defense. At best right now, average,
and
very average.
They just flipped your expectation, right? At the beginning of the year, they had Antonio Brown, they had Josh Gordon, they had all these guys. It looked like it could have been Brady's best year yet.
Yeah.
And now all these guys go down. Antonio Brown's gone. Now it's like kind of a letdown for offensive people. Sorry, Vilma. Sorry, Bobby.
Yeah.
But, that's just the way it is now. But they know how to win.
Let's see if there's one other weapon they could theoretically add. Rob Gronkowski. He made his debut as an analyst last night for Fox, but that has not stopped Patriots owner Robert Kraft from dreaming about Gronk possibly returning to the field. Here's what he told NFL Network before the game last night.
Have you guys had any conversations about him maybe stopping back and, getting a game in?
We all love Gronk, and I think the bottom line is he hasn't put his retirement papers in. So we can always pray and hope.
Boy, did that get a lot of, he hasn't put his retirement papers in. Now, if you saw him and if you see some of the work that he's been doing, he looks smaller to me. I'm not an expert in this sort of thing. He looks like he's dropped a lot of weight.
But as guys get older, like if you look at Michael Strahan at the beginning of his career, he's a big, bulky guy. By the end, he'd probably slim down 15, 20 pounds. If Gronk comes back and plays, he's not going to be as devastating as a blocker. He'll be good, but he'll still be a big physical target in the passing game. He's not any shorter. Maybe he's lost a little bit of strength, but he still has the hands. He still has the confidence of Tom Brady, and he's still a Hall of Fame player.
He's plug-in and play, man. Get him on the field as fast as you can. Somebody needs to take pressure off of Edelman, is bottom line. Help Edelman out.
What do you think, John? If all of a sudden Rob Gronkowski comes out of the booth and out of all of the other things he's doing and he's in that huddle opposing you, are you worried about Gronk?
I'm worried maybe the first game or two, maybe. And here's a big maybe because I don't know what he's been doing in the offseason. I don't know if he's still been training.
What does he ever been doing?
You got to think about it.
I don't know what he's
something
been doing.
To think about.
Yeah,
worry about
a little bit. We know one thing he's been doing, if you've been following his new career path, and that could create a whole other set of problems, but let's not worry about that for the moment.
Exactly. Yes.
It'll be fascinating to see. But really quickly, raise your hand if you think he will play for the Patriots this season.
I hope so.
Really? I'm by myself?
I really wanted to. I don't think so.
I don't think
I will be surprised if it does happen. All right, so that's where the NFL weekend began last night. We'll have much more football as we go, but how about the winner-take-all game? Let me stay in the state of Texas. The Cowboys looking to get back on track this weekend after dropping 2 straight, with quarterback Dak Prescott's turnovers being a big part of the problem. But Dak is planning on staying the course Sunday as the Cowboys take on the Jets.
I take a lot of pride. That's not something I'm proud of, not something that I like to see, regardless of if it happened for this reason or that reason. Ball security, job security is something I've always said, something I've always believed in, and it's not fun turning the ball over. For me, it's not about changing anything that I've done. I like where I'm at mentally, physically. I've said that, will continue to say that, so just do a better job at it. But I'm not changing the way I play this game.
All right, so Dak's performance against teams with a winning record has come into question lately. Going back to the start of 2017, his QBR is actually higher against teams who come into a game with a winning record than those who are losing. We don't have to worry about that this weekend, of course, against the Jets. But there is at least one person at this table who remains the president of the Dak Prescott fan club, and that person is Mark Sanchez.
A quarterback.
You are in no way, having seen now two performances that were less than spectacular against good defenses, New Orleans and Green Bay, you are still full bore on the Dak train.
God, you're burning a hole in the side
Tell
of my
me,
head.
go ahead.
No, who put that first highlight up? That was a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That was an inconsequential,
Right.
negligible play, okay?
Right.
So whoever's in charge of the highlight,
Now
tempo.
that person's fired.
No, I'm really not worried. I'm telling you why. There's 2 interceptions in that last game. 2 of them were really not his fault. One's a little bit behind Amari Cooper, and one of them's definitely pass interference. The other one was a bad ball. It was a bad decision. Right here, this is pass interference. Blatant pass interference.
I agree with you.
I know for a fact Sanjay Lal is teaching Gallup to get up on this route, to turn around and go foot to foot, face to face with the quarterback, not round first base when you make that cut at the top of the route. You chest bump the quarterback. That's what you're taught to do. He rounds it, and it looks like Dak's throwing right to the defender.
That said, these things happen, though, and the great players find ways to overcome them and win games.
You absolutely do, just like Tom Brady did last night. I understand that. But he fell on the sword for those guys. I know those guys appreciate that because those are some other errors by other players. He fell on the sword for them. I guarantee they're going to play their butt off for him. And can we get Tyron Smith back?
You're a former Cowboy. What are you seeing right now in the team and in the quarterback?
Well, Dak's never been the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's far from the worst, and both of those things are okay. The reality is when Zeke doesn't rush for more than 75 yards, they're 1-9.
But that's the way they got to play. That's the way their
I
offense
understand
works.
that, but don't tell me then that he's the best player. You know, he was 0 for 3 against the Packers on 3rd down, 1 for 4 in the red zone, and 2 of 9 when he was pressured. Like, those are significant numbers about situations when you're going to be an elite quarterback, you have to have success. And Dak has had that in the past, but he's not going to be a guy that I think you can rely on game in and game out to come in and do it.
I've seen Dak against 2 real NFL teams this season, and we've seen exactly who he is. That's the truth, right? Because the first 3 games, everyone said, oh, he's the best quarterback, etc. And then we said, wait till he plays some real opponents, some real NFL teams. And now we're seeing what's happening. With Dak has never led this offense. You see the interception.
Can we catch the ball? It looks like he's catching
Can
a
we catch the
rattlesnake,
ball?
dude.
How about that's
Come
a
on.
poor throw? But regardless, it doesn't matter because the point is that Dak has not led this offense. That's what we want to see, right? A quarterback lead the offense the way that a Brady has led the offense, the way a Breeze has led the offense, the way that you name quarterback after quarterback. Aaron Rodgers has led these offenses. He's never done that before.
Hang
right?
in there, Dak.
The
You're
good
going to be
news
fine.
is he's got the Jets this week to get healthy. So that everything will be all good again.
I don't know why you
Sorry,
look at me when
Greeny.
you say that. I'm 100% on board with you. There's very little to argue about right there. All right, I have a lot more on that to go. Let me get up and go because there's a bunch of other news out there. It's going to start in Jacksonville where owner Shad Khan said he recently had a heart-to-heart with Jalen Ramsey, thinks Ramsey will play Sunday against the Saints. Bobby, what do you think of this?
Here's the reality. He's getting paid by Shad Khan and the Jacksonville Jaguars to be a football player. He is one of the best, if not the best corner in the NFL. I think he has pride. He's going to come out there and play, and they're not going to trade him. And so his options are to not get paid or to go out and play. And I think he's going to play because they're a pretty good squad.
NBA preseason action last night as we get up and go to Kawhi Leonard. His much-anticipated debut with the Clippers. Played about 11 minutes in the first half, 7.6 assists, no turnovers. Admitted he felt a little rusty after avoiding contact after winning in the championship last year. Get up and go to Steph Curry. Put on a show for the fans at the brand-new Chase Center. 40 points in 25 minutes of action as the Warriors beat the Timberwolves. His shooting is in midseason form. 14 of 19 from the floor, 6 of 9 from 3 for Steph Curry. How about the WNBA Finals? Game 5.